So hi, I am back, and I have not done a Warrior Cats video for a very long time, but now I made this FNAF cosplay. It's half cosplay, it's just the head, because I don't have time for the body. This took like 2 months. Maybe later I'll finish it. I wasn't expecting to do voiceover for this because I don't have any good equipment or a good voice, but there was way too much text to write. Anyway, I will show you what I did now. So basically, the first thing I had to do was cut out some strips of cardboard, and then I kind of wrapped it around my head and hot glued it, kind of like a crown shape. I strapped one from the front of my head to the back of my head, and then one from ear to ear, kind of making a cross on the top of my head, and then it was kind of like a nice base. And then I put 2 strips down to where my jaw would be, so I could make a maneuverable jaw, because that's like 10 times cooler, and it was really easy to do, and it makes your head go in easier, so it was really nice to add on. I also added some elastics in there, but I had to change them later because they weren't properly placed, so I wouldn't add elastics yet. Also, I wouldn't recommend using cardboard, because even though it was pretty like nice and pliable, so I could squish it into the head sometimes in tough places, it probably isn't the best in the long run if you plan to wear it a lot, because just sweat and wear and tear can wear it down really easily, and it can break or things can happen. It's just, I wouldn't recommend it if you want to keep it in the long run. I kind of just have mine sitting on the shelf right now, probably only use it like once or twice if I'm showing people, so I don't really worry about it, but it did come apart a few times. Sorry if my voice is breaking away, I keep looking back at it in my closet. Yeah, it broke apart a few times, but it was really easy to put back together, just hot glue. I know that in Gaia's videos, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, she was the one who basically inspired me. She used kind of a plastic mesh. It looked pretty good, what she used. I just didn't have it, so I used cardboard because I'm lazy. After that, I just put it on my head and wrapped my head with camping foam, just a camping foam mat, because that's what I had around the house. And I made just a cylinder around my head, and then kind of turned it into like a bucket round thing, and then I hot glued it together. Then I added some more foam that I had to make it like nicer, rounder. Basically everything got changed at the end, so you don't really need to worry about it too much at the start, but it was kind of like nice just having a base. After adding that foam, I needed some thick foam for the snout and the whisker things and the ears. I went to looking at a bunch of places, and eventually I went to Walmart, and they had some like really cheap stuff, like $10 for a big brick, and I was able to use that entire brick, and I still had a bunch left over for my entire thing, so it was a pretty good deal. Yeah, all the materials are in the description. So after I got the foam, the first thing I did was cut out the top of the snout. It's kind of a weird shape, so I looked up some like references online. There's a few people who did a couple of good renderings of FOXY, get it pretty accurate. One of my main goals was to get it as accurate as possible, so I was using that as a reference and kind of just shaping it. It's kind of a weird S almost shape, kind of curved, and yeah, it was looking really weird at first, but you know, don't worry, it gets better. It kind of looks like a crocodile, or Perry the Platypus, I've heard people say at first. That's what it's been looking like, and yes, it is Perry the Platypus at first. But then I was able to cut out the bottom jaw, so I cut out the bottom jaw. It looks a bit less like Perry the Platypus. It still did not look like FOXY whatsoever. So after the bottom jaw, I kind of cut down the top center of the forehead and the sides, because he's got this kind of weird shape to his head where it's kind of like 2 bumps on the top, but it worked. And then right after that, I was able to do the whiskers on the side. I'm just gonna call them whiskers. These ones are really small, and I had to change them later, and they look really weird at this point, but don't worry, it changes. A lot of it changes. My room got very messy many times. I had to there was so much foam on the floor, so much foam and felt. It was everywhere. It was after that I was basically starting on doing all the felt. Okay, so basically I ordered the felt online because I wanted to get the right colors, but it ended up kind of just being the same colors I could get at Michael's for like the same price, or probably cheaper, because they have these giant sheets for like $6. Also, the orange color I got for the snout, I kind of don't like it. I wish I'd gotten a pinker color, because I guess I'd been looking at a different picture. I just got the color wrong. It should be pinker, I think. While those colored felts were coming on the way, I'd bought a big black sheet of felt, and I'd kind of pinned it around the head. It's kind of hard to explain, and I don't have a video of it, unfortunately. I literally had no idea what I was doing. I just held it up against the head, and then took some pins and I pinned it down into it, and then I kind of folded it and cut it on the folds to make it flat, and then once I would take it off, it would be a pattern, so I could use that. Ended up having a bunch of black pieces of felt that I had all laid out, and then the color felt came, and I could just cut it out and put it on, so it was a bit faster. And so once I got the felt on, there's all these seams because obviously I can't just perfectly cover the entire thing. There's gonna be seams from it folding. So what I did, I took a wire brush, I just like run it through some pieces of felt until little scraps came off like this. I was able to take just some white glue and just paper mache over top of it with the felt. It worked really well for covering the cracks. It wasn't perfect because it kind of sunk later, and you can still see the cracks. It covered a lot of stuff really well, so it's a nice even surface instead of having a ton of chunks. So yeah, I did the ears. I just cut those out of foam and kind of just did like a layer on the bottom, layer on the top, cut some stuff out of the middle. And my brother put it on and just became Michael Afton. I was scared. The bite of 83. You know, that could have happened. Scary stuff, guys. After I put the felt on, it didn't look as the right colors I wanted. I just covered it in water and watercolor everywhere, and it kind of gave it a bit more dirty effect. Probably more dirty than FOXY is, but I think it looks nice. The next thing I had to do was add on the ears. In Gaia's video, she used these springs, which I thought was a really good idea. Then, cool, they're springy. So I went to Home Depot, and so I just got some of those. I took pliers and I cut them in half so that they would be a bit shorter. I cut out a little bit of pieces where I wanted them to go, and then I just stuck them on with hot glue. I use hot glue for basically everything in here, like so much hot glue, but I have an electric hot glue gun, which I love. I had also done these little, like, the hair tufts. I made those out of paper clips, and then I wrapped them in felt, and then I stuck them on, and it was looking pretty good after that. It was kind of coming together. All I had left to do was the teeth, the nose and the eye and stuff. So for the teeth, I took some polymer clay. I rolled them all out, just tons of rolling. It took a long time, and I put them in the oven. I mapped out where all the teeth that I wanted them to go, and then I painted the gold ones gold. I don't know what I was doing trying to dry these. After the teeth, I did the nose. I also did that with polymer clay. This one took a long time actually to get the nose shape right, and it's something I was happy with. So I kind of just wang it. What is the past tense of winging it? I don't know. But it turned out pretty good. I'm still not perfectly happy with it now, but I also did the eyebrows. I just did that with the felt. I hot glued it on, made them a bit darker than the rest of it. Next with the eyes, I am stubborn, and I decided to just buy a ton of ornaments online for like $15. Best purchase ever, you know? I just put some felt on them, cover them with glue, did the whole paper mache thing. For the actual insides of the eyes, I got some, I also made another great purchase. I just got like a giant bug screen online for like $15 for like 8 pieces of mesh. So for the eyes, the insect foam came and it was all black or gray, so I had to spray paint it white. It didn't stick perfectly at first. There's a few covered holes, but it served its purpose, I guess. It's not the perfect white color, but it looks good enough. I think it also makes the insides where I painted it white stand out. So I just kind of like painted around with like the colors it needed, and then I painted some white in the middle. I put the eyes in. I had to like move some stuff around. Put tears into this. I mean, I put my blood and my blister pus into this. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be haunted. And for the eye patch, I just took this hinge. It kind of the things you use to hold up photo frames. It holds in place a little bit. It will hold the eye patch in place a little bit so it'll stand out. Okay, so for the eye patch, I used the hinge, and I took just some cardboard, covered it in black felt. I put the hinge under the felt and hot glued it in. It's not very stable there, but I couldn't really do anything else at that point. I didn't really know what to do. Probably should have like planned it out earlier. So if you're doing this, I would plan to like put something harder that you could hot glue it to, so that it's not just sitting on like felt and can move around really easily. After the eyes, it was done. So I put the eyes in, I hot glued them in, made sure everything fit. It's kind of more of a tight fit now because the eyes poke into the skull more. If I was making this again, I would have made it a lot bigger. I would have like put a toque over my head or something when I was making it to just give me extra space, because if anything at the end I could just put another toque back on while I was wearing the thing. A balaclava is probably what I would have done. Once it was done, I went very overboard. A bunch of like random photos that I took. I actually really like this one with the closet. I think it looks super cool. It ended up looking pretty good, and I think it looks pretty accurate to the game. That's the inside of it. It is very scary looking, the inside of it. So if you guys have any questions, or if I missed anything, I probably missed a bunch of stuff that I can't remember. I'll try to answer everything in the comments. I'll put the materials down there, the tools below, how much things cost that I need to pay for. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. So if you've seen this video and you think you can't do it because, I don't know, you don't have enough time or something, just, you know, always try doing it. I had no idea what I was doing going into this, but I think it turned out really good. So sometimes you just gotta start. I don't think it took very much talent whatsoever. I just spent a lot of time on it. Spend time on it and you'll get it done, you know? And you'll have something you'll really love afterwards. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and see you later.